which lesson do we learn for today?
Today we're gonna learn lesson 11.
11. Oh, 11. Okay, what is the name of the lesson for today?
The main of the lessons for today is how to speak English fluently.
How to speak English fluently. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, today is the part 1.
Okay. The first thing I will read the transcript. I know.
Okay.
Imagine you are invited to join a conversation between a group of native English speakers, eager to hear the ideas, opinions, and stories. Everyone watches you, waiting to hear you speak. If this talk makes you feel nervous or stressed, imagine you could join that conversation and speak fluent English automatically, correctly, and naturally, without any hesitation or fear. What if you could surprise and impress those native English speakers with a colorful vocabulary of interesting words and phrases, a smooth, natural speech? Would the ability to speak English fluently make you happier, more confident, more successful? So this important video Jenny will review. It's not review. Review why you've been learning English for years but still can speak English fluently. Prove that you really are very close to becoming a successful English speaker. And say the one thing that can help you finally express yourself in English automatically, correctly, and confidently. No matter where you live in the world, whatever the age, and even if you are no one to practice speaking with. Before I can review the one thing that makes fluency not just possible, but automatic. I want you to know that you are not alone in your struggle to communicate, and that the frustrations you experience with your English speaking are not your fault. My name is Drew Barger. My name is Linh. And after falling to learn 3 different languages, I made the discovery that helped me finally speak a second language fluently and confidently. I discovered that I now say with millions of English learners through my videos on one of the most popular English language learning channels on YouTube. Learners like you who can read, write, understand this video but struggle to speak fluently. Do you ever become stuck when you try to speak? Like you know the words but they just won't come out when you need them. Most English learners with poor speaking ability fear making embarrassing vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation mistakes in English conversations. They feel awkward.
Okay. They fear.
What's that? They feel. Let's check dictionary.
Okay, stop here. They feel.
They feel
awkward.
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 Awkward. Awkward.
They feel awkward. And what does it mean?
Awkward is mean making you feel embarrassed.
Oh, okay. They feel awkward and slow when speaking, and worry that they are boring to listeners, and because they often can't automatically use the right words or grammar. They hesitate to think and translate in their heads before they speak.
Okay, stop here. Now, what are your problem of learning English? What are your problem of
I
learning English?
learn English. I can hear you speak and can read, but cannot speak.
Okay, you can understand what I say, but you cannot
Yes,
speak fluently.
yes, that's right.
Uh-huh. Yes, I think you are very different. You are in a different level. For a set couple of times you learn English with me. For several months you learn English with me. I think you have a big improvement in your speaking skill. And now, do you have any difficulty when you speak English, when you learn English?
Do
Do
you
you
have
have
any
difficulty?
difficult things
Yeah. Em có khó
when
khăn nào
I
khi em học ngôn ngữ nữa không?
that?
Do you have any difficulty when you learn English with me?
Difficulty.
Mhm. Do you have any difficulty when you learn English with me?
Difficulty.
You don't?
Let me see. Anh hỏi cái gì?
Tức là em có gặp khó khăn gì khi em học ngôn ngữ tiếng Anh không?
Yes, I have.
What is it?
I think is time, but now it's not. Before, I have a trouble with time when I'm learn English with you. Yeah.
It's mean about the time?
Yes, but it's the last, is the past. Now it's not.
In the past?
Yes.
But now it's not. Okay. Yeah. That's all about the time. And that's all.
At the beginning, actually, I don't like to learn English with you very much. Don't feel sad, but that's sure.
You mean in the beginning you don't want to learn English with me?
Yes.
Why not?
Because I look at you. I feel you are really young. Just you are still studying in university.
No, I graduated in the university for.
Age.
I graduated from university for 3 years. 4
yes,
years.
after that you told me. But at the beginning, yes, you look so young, so I thought you are 20 or 21 like me.
21? So no, I'm 26 years old.
I wonder why. Can I learn English with a person without experience in teaching English?
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not confident when I talk with
you. And then after that, how do you feel?
I feel good. And after that, you told me you are graduated. You have graduated from university for several years. Yeah. So you was born in 1993, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So as a beginning, I didn't pay attention about the Facebook. Yeah, even we add friends at Facebook like a friend, but I didn't.
Eventually, we were a
Yeah, I
friend
didn't.
on Facebook.
Yeah, we 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 been we was been we was be we be friend already on Facebook, but I I don't know anything about you. I don't see the Facebook. I just see the avatar. Yeah,
Mm.
maybe if you're so sad, but yeah, that's what I did think about you before.
Mm. Okay.
Yes.
And now, yes, how can I help you? Do you have any difficulty and obstacles when you learn a new language like English?
It look, um, mm, I think now I can speak some basic sentences.
You can speak some basic sentences.
Yes, but I think the difficult is how to speak like a native English speaker. But I know the answer is just practice it. Yeah, there is no way. Want to speak like a native speaker, you need to speak it to speak.
Okay, if you want to speak a lot like a native speaker, it will take
Yes,
time. Listen more and speak more. You need
yes,
you have to listen to the audio podcast, MP3 player, TV show, talk show, where
okay,
American or
yes.
native English speaker talk in the show. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the way you speak like a native speaker. And you need to have a good environment, like you have some foreigners, uh, friends from
I think.
American, Canadians, British. Yeah. Mm, and then if you have a lot of people or friends around you who are foreigner, I think that's the good way to have you speak English like a native speaker. But you don't have,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter. In fact, we don't need to speak English like a native speaker. In how many time did we have to take if we want to speak Vietnamese like this? It will take over 6, 7, or 10 years, and we don't need to have um, we don't need to have to overcome 10 years to speak Vietnamese like this.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And it depends on your purpose when you learn. If you want to go abroad, travel, and study in another country, like Australia, Canada, and American, England, yeah, you need to have a good environment. But you don't. I think it's not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And the most important thing is you apply and use what you learn into your life. I
Mm-hmm.
think now we know a lot of things. We already know this, but in fact, how do you use it to use this useful in your life? Mm, and I think it's much more important and meaningful more than you just focus on the native speaker, or my accent, my pronunciation is not good. Oh, it doesn't matter because you are learning English. So
Yes.
everybody in front of you who speak and talk with you, they understand you. That's
Yes.
okay. And we don't need to speak like try to speak, struggling to be a native speaker, but in fact, they don't understand you too much.
Yes.
And it's just nonsense. Useless. Okay, now keep moving. Let's come back to the lesson. Uh,
Oh,
how do you feel if you can speak English fluently with a lot of people, eventually foreigner?
as a speaker talk about it, I also felt embarrassing and awkward when I cannot speak English.
Mm-hmm. And do you know why? Why do you feel embarrassed and awkward when you speak English with a foreigner?
I think when a foreigner asks me a question, I will think about it and then I will translate it to my mother language.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay, yes. You mean it will have to translate English into Vietnamese and Vietnamese into
Yeah,
English
as a beginning, yeah.
when you speak with a foreigner, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, because you need to take a lot of practice. You need you don't practice enough, so that's why you have to translate it into your mother language. And
Yeah.
yeah, if you if you practice a lot, you don't have to translate it into your own mother language, your mother language. You can imagine when you speak Vietnamese, do you have to think about Vietnamese when you speak? You don't have. You don't have to think about Vietnamese when you speak. Because
Yes.
why? Why?
Why?
Because you speak Vietnamese for over 10 and 20 years. Now, you can use Vietnamese like very, very fluently and naturally.
Yes, we are
Uh,
native Vietnamese speaker.
okay, and if you want to speak English with foreigner without hesitation, without embarrassment and offers, you need to take a lot of practice. Go ahead and talk to them. Eventually, you make a lot of mistakes. That's okay, and that's the way we are on the way to be an excellent English speaker. Make a mistake and be perfect. Okay. Nếu em muốn nói chuyện tiếng Anh với người bản xứ mà không cần phải nghĩ ngợi quá nhiều và không cảm thấy lung túng thì em phải thực hành nhiều và luyện tập thật nhiều. Bởi vì mình nói tiếng Việt bây giờ mình cũng không phải nghĩ đúng không? Tiếng Anh thì mình cũng vậy thôi. Nếu mình muốn làm như vậy thì mình cũng phải nói thật nhiều. Nói nhiều dùng nhiều thì sẽ ok thôi. Alright?
Yes. After year, I think
Okay.
I will.
Now, okay. You let me think about the time when I learned English. I have the same
Oh
question.
yes. What did you learn English?
Huh?
I didn't. Yeah, I never asked you about that question. Now, what did you learn English?
Okay, you let me.
How did you learn English?
Okay, yeah. Yeah. In the beginning, when I was a student in the university, I have a chance to receive a gift from my friends. It's a setup city, and that's give will it changed my life. Okay, yeah, it changed my approach when changed my method when I learned English. Uh, my father was an English teacher, but he's only teach me about grammar rules, and he don't know too much about speaking skill. And I have a very confused that I am speak English with everybody. So when I use the city English city, um, I feel more confident when I speak English. Why? Because in the courses, the teacher asked me a lot of questions, and I do uh, a mini story game, play a mini story game with him, and when he asked me, I respond immediately, and I learn a lot of the new words in the courses, how to explain the new words in English, and how to answer every single question in English. And I think a lot of in English. Every day I spend at least 1 hour, 2 hours per day when to learn English. That's after 1 or 2 months, nothing happened. But 3 months and 6 months later, I can see a big improvement in my learning, and I feel much more confident. I can understand what the speaker said, and mm, I know, oh, that's a good method. I can see my improvement. Okay, and I go out and talk with the foreigner. Oh, I feel more confident. That's a good way for me. And but after 6 months and 1 year, I feel I improved very slow, and I wonder, oh yes, I want to improve more and more, but it's impossible. I wonder, oh, how can I speak English like a native speaker? That's the same question like you. Okay, but uh, after I started teaching English, uh, I realized that we cannot speak English like a native speaker without practicing. And I started practice English every day. So now I can see my improvement in my teaching, in my learning. I can speak English without hesitation, embarrassment, and I feel much more confident when I speak English with the foreigner. Maybe sometimes I don't understand too much about what they said, but I think that's okay. It's in your mindset. Maybe sometimes you don't understand them. That's okay. You can imagine sometimes in Vietnamese we don't understand what you say in Vietnamese. And why? Why do you force them have to understand all of those things the speaker said? Yeah.
That's
And
right.
and one more thing I learned when I started to work is I need to take more and more, take a lot of practice more and more. Okay, and we just finish it. Don't wait to be perfect. Mhm. Practice, make it perfect. Maybe you get a high score level, you still make a mistake. Ok, cái thời gian mà anh luyện tập anh nhận ra một điều là mình luyện tập càng nhiều thì mình càng giỏi, càng luyện tập nhiều thì mình càng giỏi. Kể cả lúc đấy mình có thể vẫn mắc lỗi ấy, nhưng mà mình giỏi hơn so với cái thời điểm trước đó của mình rất nhiều. Và ngày trước anh không nói được nhiều như này.
Yes, I'm right.
Okay. I still have to think about English when I speak with you and native English speaker. But now, I think is much more better than the last time when I started to learn. Yeah, and and I think nobody is perfect, and we have to we constantly study and practice every day. That's the way we did. That's the way we become. You want to become a native speaker, like a native speaker. Yeah, it will take time. Don't be hurry.
Yes, don't be hurry.
Okay. All right. Do you have any question for me?
No.
Okay.
I have a question for you. No.
No. Okay.
Yes.
Remember, practice make it perfect. So that's why I told you and everybody that we should make video every day, practice it a lot. Eventually, you can talk with your friends and stand in front of the mirror and talk with yourself, talk by yourself, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful time with your friend in this day. Goodbye,
Yeah.
and see you.
Have a nice day.